UN Commission on Sustainable Development.
Engineering organizations have helped advance sustainable development by making presentations to the United Nations Commission on Sustainable Development.
The United Nations Commission on Sustainable Development, or UNCSD, was established in December 1992 to ensure effective follow-up to the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development held in Rio de Janeiro in 1992.
In June 1997, James Poyot, then president of WFEO's Comtech, participated in the Earth Summit Plus 5 special session of the UN General Assembly. Poyot's attendance at this conference led the UNCSD to involve the engineering community in its annual meetings. Since 1998, WFEO has organized and sponsored 4 panels of experts on important topics. Presentations from these panels can be found on WFEO's Comtech website.
Water Panel, April 27, 1998. 4 expert panelists presented case histories to demonstrate how privatization projects can be initiated and structured.
Production Consumption Panel, April 28, 1999. 4 expert panelists presented case histories featuring cleaner production technologies.
Panel on Sustainable Practices in Agriculture, May 1, 2000. 3 expert panelists presented case studies on natural resource management technologies.
Energy Panel, April 17, 2001. 3 expert panelists presented case histories about technologies that employ renewable energy sources.
In addition, an engineering officer of WFEO was a member of and advisor to the U.S. delegation to the 1997 UN General Assembly.
Computers and communication. Engineers have helped develop breakthroughs in computer technology and communication networks. In the past 10 years, computers have become exponentially more advanced and powerful, and Internet has made rapid communications possible throughout many parts of the world. Software development has evolved to allow enormous amount of data to be stored and is a great help to scientists and engineers. Through this exchange of information, the engineering profession has been able to provide an engineering dimension to sustainability issues. However, as technology has expanded rapidly, a gap has developed between the countries with access to technology and those without. Information communication and technology are working to develop better methods for sharing information among practicing engineers.
A plan to create a virtual engineering library for sustainable development was supported by WFEO in 1999. On the Internet, virtual engineering libraries can be evaluated. In order to promote engineering educations in school, technical colleges, and universities, it was envisioned that virtual engineering libraries on the Internet would be helpful. The Institution of Engineers, Australia, and the Institution of Professional Engineers, New Zealand, agreed to the creation of a prototype for such a system.
The AVL program has been incorporated into the Australian Virtual Colombo Plan, which is being funded as part of Australia's Overseas Aid Program. Substantial funds are also being provided by the World Bank. The Virtual Colombo Plan is initially being directed towards primary and secondary school teachers and policymakers. In coming years, material will be supplied to university lecturers, including those giving engineering courses.
Engineering groups started educational programs for engineering students and practicing engineers on applying sustainable development concepts in their work. Many universities are beginning to introduce the principles of sustainable development in their curricula. In USA, many engineering colleges have developed extensive programs with special courses on the environment and sustainable technologies. The Georgia Institute of Technology have created an Institute for Sustainable Technologies and Development, and they have incorporated the principles of sustainable development into university's strategic plan. other forward-looking university, which includes the University of Florida, the Systems Engineering Department of the University of Virginia, and lastly, we have the Earth System Engineering program at the University of Colorado. Several programs are now available that provides financing for students and recent graduates to become an intern for a year with environmental-oriented companies.
In 1994, an international workshop on invited educators from the Asia-Pacific region was convened in New Zealand to examine fundamentals of environmental education and engineering education. Output from this workshop have been widely published, and a major follow-up conference was held in Paris, France in September 24 to 26 in the year of 1997. This conference was jointly sponsored by the United Nations Environmental Programme, or UNEP, and the World Federation of Engineering Organization, WFEO, and the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, and the École Nationale des Ponts et Chaussées. A program that incorporates sustainable development concept is described in the article report from the Africa by Rafik Minhe, and WFEO Comtex Regional Vice President for Africa and member of the Executive Committee for FIDIC process.
Sustainability is also finding its way into universities. Accreditation procedure in the USA, for example, each engineering university must be accredited periodically. The organization responsible for coordinating this process in their document Engineering Criteria 2000 states that students must be prepared for professional practices through curriculum that includes most of the following consideration: economic, environmental, sustainability, manufacturability, ethical, health, and social, political. International engineering organization must also contribute to sustainable development education. FIDIC has developed training programs for their members and for industry that provides guidance on how inventory and analyze environment issue as well as setting up environmental management system. This program have been developed in collaboration with UNEP and the International Chamber of Commerce and are described on the UNEP website.
Industrial processes. So, before we discuss what is the connection of industrial processes in engineering, let's first discuss what is industrial process. So, industrial process is a procedure involving physical, chemical, mechanical, and electrical steps to aid in the manufacturing of an item or items that are usually carried out on a very large scale. So, what is the connection of industrial process to engineering? Industrial processes course incorporate technical and engineering elements to analyze and understand the transformation of raw materials into finished products. So, engineers has developed approaches in industrial processes to reduce the use of resources and eliminate waste products. So, before the engineers had developed these approaches, there's a lot of excess products which are unusable, and there's greater use of resources which could lead to a lot of problems. That's why engineers develop these approaches so that they could reduce and eliminate these problems. Many industrialized nations have adopted laws and regulations in the last 30 years to regulate the generation of toxic waste. Other laws attempted to regulate the cleanup of old waste sites. At first, Industries in the USA struggled to comply with these strict regulations, but over time, many of the lending industries began to realize that removing waste from the process stream could result in significant savings and increased profits. So they fully realized why these laws and regulations um, was adopted. So companies, lending industries didn't realize at first that by following these rules and regulations could also benefit them.
As industries began to take the initiative in reducing waste improving processing, a group of industry executives decided to share knowledge and cooperation in other ways. The result was the World Business Councils for Sustainable Development. These organizations now consist of coalition of 160 companies united by the shared commitment to sustainable development. These companies represent many engineering disciplines. This International Institute for Sustainable Development advances policy recommendations including those for industrial processes.